It may sound surprising, but rainy weather played a big role in Napoleon's end. Stay tuned, and I'll explain how. Napoleon Bonaparte was the most powerful leader in Europe for over 10 years. He was a skilled military leader, and under him, France took control of many lands, creating a large empire. But by 1814, many countries had grown tired of his constant expansion. A group of European nations, including Britain, Prussia, Russia, and Austria, joined forces to fight against him. After a series of defeats, Napoleon was forced to give up his throne in April 1814. He was sent to Elba, a small island near Italy. At the same time, the French monarchy was brought back, and Louis XVI became king. However, Napoleon wasn't ready to give up. In March 1815, he escaped from Elba and returned to France. He quickly gained support, and many French people, unhappy with the new king, welcomed him back. In just a few weeks, Napoleon was emperor again and started preparing for war against the coalition. This time period is called the 100 Days and led to the famous Battle of Waterloo. On June 18, 1815, the Battle of Waterloo took place, but heavy rain the night before turned the ground into mud. This delayed Napoleon's attack by several hours. The wet ground made it hard for his soldiers to move, especially for the cannons and cavalry. This gave the opposing forces more time to get ready. The British army, led by the Duke of Wellington, took a defensive position on a ridge just south of the village of Waterloo. The ridge gave them some protection from the French cannons. Wellington's troops were well organized, with strongholds at Egmont, La Haye-Sainte, and Papelotte. Napoleon, knowing that time was not on his side, attacked several times to try and break through Wellington's lines. The battle started with a small attack on Egmont to trick Wellington into moving his reserves. The fighting at Egmont was fierce, but the British and German troops managed to hold the line. Napoleon then launched a bigger attack on Wellington's center. His soldiers marched forward in tight formations, but they were met with musket fire from the Allied troops. The British cavalry charged at the French, causing chaos and heavy losses. However, the British cavalry chased the retreating French too far and were counterattacked by French lancers, losing many men. As the battle continued, both sides were struggling. Around 4 p.m., Marshal Ney, one of Napoleon's generals, thought the British were retreating and launched a massive cavalry attack. However, the British infantry had formed strong defensive squares, and the cavalry attack failed. Ney didn't follow up with infantry or cannons, which was a big mistake. At the same time, the Prussian army, led by General Blucher, began arriving to help Wellington. They had regrouped after a previous loss and were now threatening Napoleon's right flank. This forced Napoleon to send troops to fight the Prussians, weakening his forces even more. In a last attempt to win, Napoleon sent his best troops, the Imperial Guard, to attack Wellington's center. These soldiers were known for being the best in Europe, but when they moved forward, Wellington's troops stood up and fired a deadly volley of shots. The Imperial Guard hesitated and soon retreated. This retreat caused panic, and the French army began to fall apart. Only Napoleon's old guard held their ground, fighting bravely to cover the retreat. Napoleon himself barely escaped capture by the Prussian cavalry. The Battle of Waterloo ended Napoleon's reign and his dreams of controlling Europe. With no army left, he surrendered to the British. This time, they sent him far away to the island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic, where he stayed for the rest of his life. He died there in 1821. Waterloo also marked the beginning of a new period in Europe. To prevent another major war, the leading powers created a balance of power that lasted almost 40 years. The British, who played a big role in the victory, became the most powerful naval force in the world. Europe enjoyed peace for many years, with no major wars between the big nations until World War I in 1914.